السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. مقعد عبد الكريم الدها عبد الكريم محمد داهر dadka qaarkood waan saaragnay dadna maxaa jirtaa muddaana saarkin waqtiga ka soo wareegatay marka alxamdulilah maanta waxaan ugu talagalnay xaflad inaan maaragtaa dadkii oo insurance-ka ka qayb qaateen aan update aan siino waxay meesha marayaan dhinacaniita waxaa iga fadhiyaa nin dhalinyaro la dhaho Justin waxaa jooga nin la Jack ninkaasna Galaga oo ka socday waxaa la dhahaa Stewart labada nin way nala shaqeyn doonaan direct Stewartna shirkadiisa nala shaqeyn doontaa oo shuruudaha insurance-ka lagu xujeenaya ka mid tahay xaqiiqada waxaa waaye insurance-ka aan maanta aan ku jirno waa insurance oo sharciga islaamka waafaqsaneen laakiin alxamdulilah rabbil caalamiin islaamka muxuu leeyahay shuruudo oo wixii uu xarimay diinta xarimtay la xalaalteenayo marka insha allahu tacaala waan geli doonaa intaanan gelin waxaan akhrin doonaa qur'aan baan ku furi doonaa إن شاء الله تعالى هدي الأرادة. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر صدق الله العظيم. إلهي ماركتا كلن أو مجموع خير إلهي هكذا waxaan isku imaanay meeshan xaqiiqata waa diin oo maaragtaa wax dhaafsan oo ganacsi dhaafsan waaye ma dareensiinin anaga dadkii maaragtaa oo lacagtii gashtay oo maaragtaa oo insurance-ka laakiin xaqiiqada waxaa waaye waxaan waa wax dhaafsan ganacsi sababta fadliga ilaahay subxaanahu wa tacaala haya fadligiisana macnaha qofku doono yuu siiyaa asagoo xisaabna u xisaabin laakiin qofka aaminsan waaye inuu fadliga ilaahay haayo waaye markan haddii shaki kaa galo dabcan waad ka lumaysaa insurance-kan Mareykanaan imaanay misena ilmahayna dhabarkan ku soo qaadanay misena waan ayagoo yaryar la imaanay oo Mareykan keennay ilmaha ayaga markaan meesha aan ku dhalnay nin walba oo maanta anaga naga mid ah maskaxdiisa wuxuu iska dhaadhiciyay inuu laaban doono waqtigiisa haddii la gaaro laaban doono inta uu waqti mucada uu joogo laakiin xaqiiqada maxay noqotay inaan waqtiga asaga aysan imaani doonin ilmihiina meel u soconin anigana meel aan u soconin qofkii markaas awoodana inuu ilmihii la aado dibadda la aado oo wadanka ku celiyo haddana sidii dhagax la tuuray oo kale asagoo maaragtaa soo laabtay yaad arkaysaa dhagaxa dici korka loo tuuro dhulku ku soo dhacaa way soo laabtaan haddana markan maxaa muhiim marka magaalo la dego oo magaaladaas waxaa laga maarmaan tahay inaad dhisma hagaajisatid waxyaalaha ugu muhiimsan oo macnaha la dhiso la hagaajiyo waa masaajid in la dhiso meel ilaahay lagu caabudo laakiin nasiib wanaag haddana caabudkii kaliya ma aha haddana waxbarashadii ilmihii tarbiyadoodii noloshoodii kala dhan waxaas dhanna waxay soo hosgelaysaa nolosha oo diintay ka mid tahay qofka meesha markuu degaayo ay ka mid tahay markan ibni aadanka waxyaalaha loo ogol yahay ma aha inuu wixii xaaraan uu ku dhex jirnaado cimrigiisa intuu markaas meesha ku nool yahay wixii laga xarimay haddaan dib u laabano waxbaan laga xarimay waxana waa noo xalaalteeyay wixiina laga xarimana ونلو حلالتي بدون شرط شروطا نلقو حلالتي شروطها هاسنا هدي وقت جودة لجارو laga maarmaanay tahay in laga baxo hadii wayna juhud la sabiyo looga baxo inta kali ya cibaade sabta maanta qofka haduu dhinto haduu qabriga galo ma soo laabto oo ma noo sheego dad badan ba mansbil ku aasna maalin walba way ficnaalad inay noo soo laabtaan ay noo sheegaan dhibaatada la kulmeen ku saabsan caruurtooda ku saabsan lacagaha meesha dhigtaan ku saabsan insurance-ka ku jiraan way ficnaan lahayd laakiin kala ma soo noqonayaan mana noo sheegayaan nin walba way sugaysaa laakiin ilaahay subxaanahu wa tacaala aqli buu na siiyey aan uga gudubno uga baxno wixii xalaal iyo wixii xaaraan ah insurance-ka wuu ka dugan yahay wax badan oo uga dugan yahay qaybta bangiga insurance-ka xaaraantiisa waa cadadan tahay saddex waaye sida culimada isku raaceen marna waxa waaye company-ga dulumsan marna shakhsiga dulumsan lacagta laga qaadayo policy holder-ga midda saddexaad waxa waaye lacagtii insurance-ka lagu qabtay lacagta dhan riba yaa lagu shaqeynaa riba gelaysaa markan sidee ku dhacdaa markan inay qofka shirk oo macnaha dhulumka loo dulmaayo mise shirkadda loo dulmaayo مثل $100 iyo qofkii bixiyay claim usibiyay $1,000 la siiyay company-ga $900 ka maqan tahay qofkii yaa muxuu bixiyay $100 bixiyay sanadkii dhamaaday lacag ma loo soo celin maxal dheer sanadka kalena kun kalan ka arabna hadana lacagta ayada waa lacag joogto ah oo laga rabo lacagta insurance ka qabsadana ribe ku shaqeeyaan san la socono markan saadarteed waxa laga maarmaan tahay qofka muslimka ah oo sharciga ku qasbay sharciga Mareykanka ku qasbay inuu insurance qaato inuu insurance xalaal ah sharciga islaamka waafaqsan inuu ka shaqeeyo oo ku dadaalo marka alxamdulillah muddo ilaa hadda sanadkii saddexaad yaan noo bilaawatay qaybta insurance-ka dad oo meeshan hadda fadhiyo iyo dad maqan yaa ka qayb qaateen fikrad aan soo jeedinay in anaga nagu taageeraan maadaama anaga shaqadii haynay inay wax nagu darsadaan safarkana safar oo aad u dheer u ahaa safar bas oo maaragta dhow ma ahayn hawsha oo la maraayo processka la maraayo xujada la isweydiinayo wax oo fudud ma ahayn xaqiiqadana waxa waaye ilaahay subxaanahu wa tacaala ummad buu noo bixiyey oo meel walba naga caawinaysay sababta lacag keli wax ma taraynin dadkaasna waa dad ilaahay subxaanahu wa tacaala noo soo adeejiyey oo dadkan hadda meesha fadhiyo ka mid yihiin waa dad ilaahay subxaanahu wa tacaala noo soo adeejiyey waxaana ku helnay macnaha ilaahay naxariistiisa sababta ilaahay subxaanahu wa tacaala wuu ogyahay hadafkaayna fikirkaayna marka koowaad macnaha lacag u ahaa qof walba uu ku weydiinayaa maxaan ka helayaa meeshan ma aha xaaraanta saan uga baxaya ma aha hata qofkii lacagta soo gashtay su-aasha waxay ahayd seen lacag kale ku heli karaa waana okay waa la ogol yahay sharciga laakiin qofkii asagoo lacag raadinaya buu ilaahay subxaanahu wa tacaala haddana tusay waajibaad lagu lahaa inuu gudanayo dad badan aan ka fiicannahay maanta hadday dhintaan hatta juhdigii ma hayaan bal iska dhaafay juhdigii inay hayaan laga yaabaa haddana inay noqotoba annagii hawsha haynay inaan la dacaayadeeyo way dhacdaa wayna dhacdaa haddaba dacaayad socotaa مركن لكن حقيقة لازم أمضى إلهي سبحانه وتعالى ضده كده بحياه وهوش قبته ودينته يستاجو دينتنا ونولل أنا نسيب درو أنا وحنا نسيب درو مسلمين أنا هنا بل سبحان ودي يستا نسيب درو مسلمين أنا قلنا الحمد لله ونسيب درو وناكسن صبت فيري نكي محل ده فرانتي ذهب ما قشين كرتيت سلسلة ذهب ما قادن كرتيت ولا كنترولي محل ده جودي ماذا هذا ما بنين كرتيت قورت هذا ما بنين كرتيت ولا كنترولي نكي محل ده سرا لو جاب ما قادن كرتو جلبها دافسن ولا كنترولين محل ده هاي ما عبي كرتيت شراب كنوع عاس هلب كنوع أنا معني كرتيت ولا كنترولي دينا أول بدأ وجه سيتد ولا كنترولا يا دينا وجه سو كنترول أجرا دينا وجه سو كنترول أجرا سبت دينتي أنا حكمين إسا مركز تام حكيني إسا مركن إنا وحوال بقى نصبينا إنا نورش عنا وافق صناعته دينته وقصبنا قنيسا لكن سؤال شجرته حواي أننا ميان كفكرنا ميان كده ذالينا إنن كدقاقنا أو أدقاقنا إنن دينتا أيضا عن قاضنا سيدي الله سبحانه وتعالى واجبنا وقريقا صوبت نار تمشى وهوسه قال ملها نار تمشى وهوسه قال ملها إن المنافقين في الدرك الأسفل من النار ومنافق النبي عليه السلام اللي تكناين النبي عليه السلام لا تكناي على دهي يا ذرك من الأسفل من النار تمشى وهوسه قال رسولك عليه السلام اللي تكناين مركن ماشى مع كعد ولا سوين نجره متى كلا جت حاول قفك دون النفاق وفوقه لكن قفك بس أصعب مسلم في عنه يا لقي يا واحدنا إنه سبح هنا مسلم ياهي قلبتنا في عمل أو قال لهم كل رقم هبين كنا مسلم يا هذانا مع سيكون يكرتها سبت أوامرتي إلهي وأمري مثل محل صلاة كووت وكذا صون وصوم حج وحجي لكن محل عادي ربوقات حرام بكل رقم أنا إن نولش هي سكلام ما فيرنا معناها وحي حلال حرام ما كلا صار هذا محنا قتل وادتك إلهي الشيء أنا فتؤمنون ببعض كتاب وتكفرون ببعض كتابه لباتوين كذا إلهي وعد خزي في الحياة الدنيا ولا جزء ويوم القيامة آخرنا يردون محلو علينا إلا أشد العذاب ما عذاب كل معها أشد العذاب مركن وإسلام لماذا وقال كما أها لبكاس كافر حقه تاجني هاي وقفك إسلام ما شيكتوه مركم أنا الحمد لله رب العالمين إن مرة بمدن إلهي تطبو صارا إن دتكي يعني كمد نقنون دت كان الدين تن إلهي سبحانه وتعالى قال مسلم وهو أديك سذا جنا عسيجنا وعملها أنا قبضنا وأنا لقى سوقله وجنا عسيجنا وحيلها هذا أنا ربنا إن قلنا ونسكت دفاع عنه أنا جنا دو إلهي هذا دلني رضاينا مرة بويعيشوي ومعناه وعيلين ما أنت متجوجان ماشان إن معركة نولش يكون جيران يو وحداً وحسوء معنا معها صبت نولش أنا جا مشغول بحكون أنا إن نقول هذا إنه جورجا إيجار كيسة يو راشين إن أوكينا بس لكن نولش والله خاصة كلا دنا وكم مشغولنا وأنا مرة بنوان دلنا علمه وعلمي نواي صعدان وحنا موهاينو مركن إنشورنس كان الحمد لله رب العالمين وإنشورنس وأول مر نقول دونه شرع إسلام كوافقسن أو تكافل مسلمين تلعقت هذا ويت على مريكنك أفرتن بقول كبا أفرتن العقد مريكن حصعته خليج كده دت أو خليج ككيم هذا أسكله ومسلمين شيخ أو قطر محو قرقرينا هذا مانشستر يونايتد قرقرينا 5 بليون دولار 5 بليون دولار برا كوحدة Manchester United la dhaho inuu ku iibsado PSG maxaa iska leh Arab iska leh Manchester City Arab iska leh Newcastle Arab iska leh lacag muslimiin waa lacagtaas ayda aniga waxaan ka imaanay wadan oo soccer iyo so we call it football waxaan u reference gareynayaa sababta waxa waaye dadka ayaga lacagta meesha ku jirta waaye basketka waxa kama sheegi kari iyo footballka marka alxamdulillah rabbil caalamiin lacag la'aan ma aha muslimiinta ummadan Soomaalida waxyaalaha ummadaha kale uga dugan tahay wax cajiib waaye dadka markay fiiriyaan wallahi alcadiim waxyaalo badan ay uga dugan yihiin laga bilaabo gabdhahooda si u labisan yihiin iyo raggooda sida ugu fikirsan yihiin inay diinta dhaqaajiyaan qofka galab ha noqdo laakiin fikirkaas mar walba Soomaalidu ku hare waxaan u helin karo niman ormo la dhaho walaaladayn inkastoo ormada xoo hadda yara adkaanay laakiin sida kala jecleen marmarka la fiir laakiin Arab way ku daayeen Hindina dhaxday ku jiraan dadkii Indo-Pakistani ahaa oo Nabi Alayhi Salaam sheegay India laakiin dadkan kala hadda oo Soomaalida yaad u maleysaa inay maaragtay diintan galbeedka markii la imaaday oo muuqaalka hadda gabadha Michigan ka soo gashay oo type ay dhahaan oo Falastiin asalkeeda aniga Ilhaan Umar aan haysanaa Ilhaan Umar talagu islaamnimo lagu caynaa markasta gabadha kale magaceeda ma la sheego Arabta sabta islaamnimada mar walba ka hadashaa markan waxa waaye Soomaalida waa kii diinta way ka jecel yihiin ummadaha kale dhaqankooda ku yaraado mise ku badnaado markan saadarteed waxyaalaha hadda aan wadno aathar weyn iyo leedahay nasiib wanaag ilaahay baa mahad iska leh dad oo khibro leh isku aadan iyo meesha isku imaaday oo hawshan insurance-ka wada dadka nala shaqeynayna nasiib wanaag dad aad u wanaagsan waa laakiin xaq ay u baahan yihiin sababta anaga waxaan ka soconaa waxaan sharcigaana xakameynaya ayagana maxay barteen wayna inaga sheekeen doonaan taariikhdooda duu ilaa yiraahdo insurance-ka caadiga iyo ka saayaan markan saadarteed waxa way laga maarmaanay tahay macnaha hawshan ilaahay subxaanahu wa ta'ala yaa wata anaga way naga weyn tahay wayna naga sareysaa laakiin ilaahay uu noo sakhiray markaad fiirisid meelahan soo mareynay iyo marxaladaha mareynay iyo maaragtay waad yaabaysaa marka insha Allah ta'ala waan taaban doonaa waan ku noqon doonaa laakiin takafulka asaaskiisa maxaa waaye waa dad u soo imaaday oo dib qaybsanayo wixii iska qaadeenna ku shaqeynayo faa'iidadana hadana qaybsanayo haddii dhibaato ku dhacdo mid ayaga ka mid ahna qofka asaga ay u gargaarayaan marka maxaa dhacday markaan raadinay sharcigaasha Mareykanka sababta sharci ma awood ma qabnaan ku bedelno maxaan raadinay wax u eg aan adeegsan karno takafulkana waxaan aragnay maadaama anaga teamkayna naga mid ah sharci background haysteen waxa laan ka faa'iideysanay taas ka mid ahayd maxaan ogaanay markan sharciga uu ku jiray takafulka laakiin magac uu lahaa kala ka dugan oo la dhaho reciprocal exchange kan Mareykanka maxay ka soo gaartay Ingiriiska 1800s ka bilaabeen 1893 inuu jeclahay ayaga maxay ka soo qaateen England 1400s ka ay bilaabeen takafulka standardka exchange ka reciprocal exchange Ingiriiskana waxay ka keeneen Morocco ka keeneen North Africa niman Arab muslimiin haystaan ka keeneen ayda markan alxamdulillah rabbil caalamiin kiiban adeegsanay sababta laba shay laga rabaa qofka insurance-ka takafulka ku asaasan yahay waa in la helo saaxibul maal iyo ra'sul maal labada shay waa in anaga maxaa waay markan waa subscriber iyo attorney in fact attorney subscriber waa anaga atoni in factna kooxdana noo noqonaysa labada nin ee ka socon doonaan sababta shuruudaha maxaa waa inaad khibraddii aad leedahay experience-kii aad leedahay iyo ka mid tahay aniga ma lihin waa inaan adeegsano dad khibrad leh laakiin waa inaan anaga hagno anaga hogaamino marka alxamdulilah fikir ahaan lacag ahaan dhaqaale ahaan waa la arkaa faa'iidadiisa waa loo jeedaa marka insha allahu tacaala taas waa horta hadafka takafulka meeshu ka asaasmay magaca waan shidi waynay laakiin waan shidi doonaa fiirina inaan shidi karo kaarisha ku yaala taaya kaarka misalba kaar baa yaala taaya waa magaca insurance-ka waa takaful insurance reciprocal exchange magacaas asaga waa magaca insurance-ka company-ga aan soo wadna hadduu ilaa yidhaahdo waana shirkada hadda minnesota ka bilaabeynaa kadibna isteeda kale aadi doonaa walaalkan Stewart New York ka imaaday labada ninna maxay ka imaadeen California markan waan tegi doonaa meelo badan baan tegi doonaa insha Allah taala already plankii wixii dhan waan haynaa insha Allah taala laakiin waxa muhiim waxa la subscription inaan subino afurka nolol ogaadaya timirta waa la diyaar waaye waqti insha Allah markan hadduu ilaahay raado markan insha Allah taala waxaa muhiim inaan ogaano hadafkan u socono meeshaan ka soconay meeshaan u socono waa laga marmaan anagana waan ku dadaalayna dadka inaan khibrad siino aan maaragta education-ka aan educate gareyno waan ku dadaalayna hadduu ilaahay raado waxaan soo dhaweynayaa oo hadda oo maaragta waxaan soo dhaweynayaa Chuck.
Well, good evening, and thank you for having us. It's a privilege to be here, and especially seeing you taking your time tonight in this holy time of Ramadan. And on that note, Sun Wanaksan, and I wish you all the best. And that's all about the limited amount I know about Islam and the Muslim community. I'm learning. I am interested and I'm learning, but I do not understand all of your culture. What I do understand is there are good people. And I have said for a long time, and both Stuart and Justin have heard me say this many times, that good business doesn't have to be any more complicated than good people doing business with good people. That in itself will solve most of the problems that you can have in business if you're doing business with good people. So the plan is for me to manage the what's called the attorney-in-fact, which is the reciprocal exchange management team, effectively. And what I think would be helpful maybe is if I give you some background on myself, tell you about who I am and how I got here. I'll tell you a little bit about my business and how it started. And I think you'll be able to see where the opportunity is for us to work together and do something unique and new that nobody's done before, and do it the right way. So with that, I will also say that I'm not a speaker. I'm faking it right now. So Abdul Karim, if I miss something, if there's something that you want me to talk about, please tell me, and I'll be happy to cover it. But so Chuck, my name is Chuck Smith. I was born and raised in New Jersey, so I understand this weather. I am now living in Southern California. They have nicer weather there. Maybe not right now, but I was fortunate enough to graduate from the United States Naval Academy back in 1985. I chose the Marine Corps. I ended up serving 10 years in the Marine Corps. I was fortunate enough to fly in jets for about 10 years. Towards the end of that 10 years, I was the aide to an admiral, so I got to see the higher levels of the military. I was doing quite well, but I also got married towards the end of that time, had a child, and about that time, my father started up a business called Carnegie General Insurance Agency. And he talked to me often about it and how he was The business was doing well. He'd love to have me out there. He could use some help. And I said, Dad, I'm flying in jets. Why would I want to go do insurance? I was still a kid. But I started thinking that I just started a family. And as much as I loved the military and loved the Marine Corps, it was not, and this is hard for me to say, it was not friendly to families. It's very hard on families. And eventually, my wife and I decided that it would be best for our family if I left the Marine Corps and went to work with my father and the family in the insurance business. And it was, I always say I had no regrets about the time I was in the Marine Corps, and I have no regrets about getting out. It was what was best, and I have learned that the insurance business has a lot to offer. It is a very special business. It offers a lot of opportunity to a lot of people. One of the things that gets me out of bed in the morning, that gets me excited about the business, is we have 80 employees, both in the underwriting side of the house, the side of our business that does the underwriting, manages the insurance policies, and we have another side that manages the claims. And what gets me out of bed each morning is putting food on those 80 tables every night. That's what gets me excited. It goes back to the concept of good people doing business with good people. We understand, and the reason our company has been in business since 1988 is because we understand that in order for the company to succeed, we have to succeed with our partners. We can't succeed at the expense of our partners. I have seen many of my peers, many of my other companies doing what we do, take advantage of their partners. And it tends to be a short-lived relationship, as you might imagine. We have some very long relationships because we understand that not only does Carnegie have to win, but the insurance company that we represent has to win. The insured, the person that buys the insurance, has to win. The person that files the claim against us that says we have to pay them, they have to win. If everybody doesn't win, then you have a weakness in the system, in the business, in our business, and that weakness eventually grows and to the point where I have seen the business not work. And if they can make it work, I think they have to make it work with bad terms. Again, it's somebody else's expenses, and that's not how I want to operate. I don't want to have to look over my shoulder. I think there's enough. We can all do fine. There's no reason to be selfish in the business, as far as I'm concerned. So anyway, what else can I talk about? So I kind of touched on a little bit that Takaful and doing the right thing is, so we moved our office, and we haven't put this, but in the office we had prior to this one, up on our wall, it said, do the right thing. And we use that as a guide for our people, for the staff, in doing business. And it's the kind of thing where we would explain what the right thing is, because sometimes one might think paying. I'll give you an example, and this might be hard to understand, but if a single mother gets in an accident and totals her car's won't drive anymore, and she calls and says, "Hey, I got in an accident," and our claims person will talk to her and then get the facts and then help her processing the claim. But she says, "Hey, but I haven't paid my insurance for the last 3 months." Well, in our insurance terms, she no longer has insurance. She no longer has an insurance policy. And so we have to explain to our people that the right thing in this case is not paying for that, unfortunately. Because to pay for her would be at the expense of those other players, the other partners in this business relationship. There may be other ways that she can get help, but unfortunately, it can't be through this business, this insurance relationship. So that understanding the right thing and the right way to do, right way, that everybody is dealt with fairly is important to us. So I think that's how I think of the business that we're running has Takaful elements to it that I think we can bring to the table and apply to Tire and how Tire is run. Is that?
Yes. Thank you.
I think I'm tangled up here.
Yeah, this way. Yeah. I will have Stuart go, and then you go. Perfect. Stuart, Stuart Alamagis, Stuart Udiwa, inshallah.
Good evening, everybody. My name's Stuart Tillman, and I want to echo Chuck's comments. It's a real pleasure to be with all of you today. And I don't speak Somalian, so I can't tell exactly what he said, but I do believe that Abdul Karim did say that this is the first Takaful insurance product in the United States. That is extremely exciting. Insurance by itself is not very exciting to me, but being able to help a community build something like this is fascinating. I'm, as you can probably tell, I'm at the getting closer to the end of my career than the beginning of my career, and I have said to any number of people who I've introduced this project to, I said, you know, when I retire, this will be the most important thing that I'll be proud is the wrong word. It's the, I'm just going to be so happy that I will be part of something that will help your community move forward and feel more comfortable here in the United States. So my background, I've been in the insurance business for almost 40 years. And, pardon me?
You started at 2 years old.
I started at 2 years old, yes. And I've spent most of my time on the reinsurance side of the house. So there's insurance, which is insuring people, insuring buildings. My end of the business is somewhat obscure because we help insurance companies buy insurance. We actually spread out their risk. And the reason why Abdul Karim came to us is because he knew he needed to build an insurance company. And when you do that, that insurance company needs insurance, right? So I've never been in a position like Chuck or Justin talking to an insured and saying, okay, this is your policy, this is your term. I'm always behind the scenes working for companies and helping them build, find capacity where it's, when I say capacity, people interested in ensuring what is necessary for the insurance company to sell. So that's, it's a slightly different angle, but it's certainly going to be valuable to Tire. And here's how that happens. Tire is in itself going to be a self-sustaining entity through its membership, right? And by the way, you know, if right now you guys are buying, you have to buy insurance, right? Because to drive your cars, etc. When you're buying that insurance, that money, just as Abdul Karim said, it just goes away it goes to an insurance company. That company, if it doesn't pay a claim, you never see anything for it. You're a customer of that company, right? In this case, what you'll end up being is essentially owners or members, and you will be insuring, you'll be insuring this gentleman here, he'll be insuring that gentleman there. You will all be collectively helping each other out in this particular business model, right? Because Abdul Karim, when he and I started talking 3 years ago, actually, almost right, it was February or March, and when we were introduced, and I was blessed, frankly, to be brought into this project through one of the executives in my company. He said, "Stuart, I think this would be." I had just started with this company, by the way, and he said, "I think this would be a good project for you." And I started listening to Abdul Karim, and I started listening to the friction, or I'm going to say, sometimes you have a stone in your shoe and it gives you a blister. Well, insurance is giving you guys a blister because, interest is an important factor for most insurance companies. It's how they can make money. And Abdul Karim said, look, we can't have a company that focuses on interest. So we talked about the different types of structures of companies, whether it be a stock company and a mutual company. And we also started talking about a reciprocal, which again goes back to, I think Abdul Karim talked about back in the 1800s, where literally people would get together and say, I can't afford to lose my ship, right? And you can't afford to lose your ship. But if we both get together, we can pool our money, and if you lose yours, we'll all pay you and build you a new ship. That's really good collective, that's community, right? Insurance has moved well past that in most cases. So when we started talking about the structure, we came to the reciprocal, and it just made a lot of sense because it satisfied one of the main issues, which was, hey, we don't have to rely on interest rate, and if there's surplus, i.e. that the company makes money over a period of time and surplus grows, we can actually give some of that back, because if as a group you create a situation where you say, we're only going to put in claims when we absolutely need to put in claims, legitimate claims, the company should be very successful. And in so, you will end up getting something back. So there's the community rewards itself in a reciprocal. What else did I want to say here? So Gallagher Re is part of the third largest reinsurance, or it's the third largest reinsurance subsidiary in the world. I have colleagues in Malaysia. I have colleagues in Dubai. I was at a large convention which brought everybody together. Not everybody. There were 3,000 people. There's I think close to 9,000 people in the company. 3,000 of us all got together, and one of the days I was literally sitting in a room with over 2,000 people, and the person sitting next to me was a gentleman from Dubai. Now, that's kind of unique, because for me, I looked at him, I said, you're in Dubai. I need to talk to you because what I want to do I explained to him what we're doing with Tire, and I said, I'm going to introduce you, he's actually Muslim, my Dubai friends, colleagues, to this so that we can actually utilize two things. One, we would like to, if we can, we will use Takaful reinsurance. So the backing behind Tire will actually support the mission as well. And also, if we can, we will also try to garner some investments from that group as well. So that particular meeting with 3,000 people, and I'm sitting next to this gentleman, that was somebody upstairs said, no, you need to be sitting in this seat. So I think I think, well, we will continue, by the way, we will be buying reinsurance for Tire. I know we're actually in front of you guys in terms of getting food, so I don't want to belabor this too long. Have I covered enough for you? Yes. All right, good, perfect. Well, listen, thank you, and I really do appreciate you all coming out here. This is very exciting for us. I know that Chuck and Justin, when we started talking about this, they said, "Oh, we got to do this." So we got to help this project. So anyway, thank you, my friend.
Sure. Thank you. Thank
All right,
you.
good.
Thank you.
So, Stuart makes me think of things. One of the things I want to throw out there is remember that I have been a member of a reciprocal exchange. I've only been insured by one insurance company, USAA, who insures the military, and I bought my first insurance policy back in 1982 with them. One of the reasons that I've stayed insured with them is because they send me money every year. And it's not a lot of money that I get, but just the idea that they're sharing the profits, it's not all about just all the money going to an entity, an owner somewhere, and whether that's a person or a company or otherwise. The fact that I'm sharing in that and that we're working together, to Stuart's point, I don't think about submitting a claim that isn't right, or a claim that trying to get paid more for a claim than I should, because this is my company. Why would I want to do that for my company? And that's kind of neat. I thought I'd share that with you, because we're going to build one of those companies. And to the point of building this reciprocal exchange, there's going to be a lot of people, and there already are a lot of people looking at us and looking at what we're proposing to do. And they are and will be questioning whether we can do this. We can explain it in insurance terms. We've got a lot of experience. We can do that. One of the biggest indicators that they can get is to see grassroots support from the community. If they see people like you saying this is a good idea, we like this and we want to be part of this, that's the kind of thing that will help us get our job done much easier. I thought I'd throw that out. You have an opportunity to play a very meaningful role in building this new and exciting venture. Sure.
Again, I'm not sure whether Abdul Karim mentioned, but we're starting with one line of business, which is auto, right? But the objective is to start there, get the exchange running, and then to build out additional product to support your needs as well, whether it be commercial or homeowners or rental, et cetera. We're looking to develop new products beyond this, but we needed to start with one which was kind of universally purchased by the community. So anyway, that's.
Thank you. So I will have Justin touch on this, and then we'll go for a break. Justin will come back again, and then we have other guests here that will have the podium. We'll give them podium. We have our councilman, we have Paul, and also we have Amani from East Africa Business Associations. Thank you for coming.
I've got 5 minutes of notes. You want all 5 minutes, or you want 2 minutes?
Yeah, just do whatever you want to do. We can still eat because we'll be some time before we go for
Okay.
this. Yeah.
My name is Justin Martin, and all I'm here for is the food. Smells really good, and Abdul Karim and his team, I think, did a great job, so I think we're all excited for that. Thank you guys for having me here. I've got a bunch of notes in front of the screen about what Abdul Karim asked for us to talk about. My background, I've been in the insurance industry for 2 decades. I started in marketing. I started building relationships with independent agents. From there, I moved into product development and rate making and compliance. Worked my way into executive management, where I was able to start to manage and understand the back end of an insurance company. There's a lot of moving parts in an insurance company, and I think it's fascinating on, one mistake can take you under, but the consistency of working with a team and the consistency of doing the right thing, the consistency of being able to stay within compliance and the oversight from all the different regulatory environments that we have to make sure that we uphold certain standards, really helps to make the success of an insurance company. Abdul Karim asked me why I joined Carnegie after 20 years of being in an insurance company. And Chuck and I worked together for, I believe, 13 years while I was at an insurance company. And every time we went over to Carnegie, there was a repetitive mantra, statement about upholding integrity, about honesty, about doing what is right all the time. And one example I want to give of the kind of guy this guy is and his organization is, he had the opportunity to contract with an insurance company to continue to write additional insurance products through his agency, and he believed that the loss ratio or the end-all profit of the company that he was going to write business for wasn't the opportune time. So he sacrificed his ability to make additional income to put money on the table for his 80 employees because he didn't want to lose money for the company that he was going to contract with. And I thought that was a pretty upstanding decision that he made. When he asked me to come work for him, that's the kind of guy I wanted to work with. Someone with integrity, and I will repeat that, and honesty, and doing the right thing. So when we see the team that's up here, and Abdul Karim, who obviously can choose good people, I got excited to be a part of that. As he is describing to us today, and by the way, I've only been 4 months working on the project, and absolutely delighted to work with you. Abdul Karim continues to talk about the values of Islam. And it's very, very in line with Chuck, with my values. I don't know Stuart very well. We've been on a couple conference calls. I don't know who he is. I can't say much about him, but he's got a pretty smile.
He's a good guy.
He's a good guy, I hear. But based on how this guy, knows people, I believe Stuart to be an upstanding guy because he hired him or he's put together this team. So Z, I know him as Z, was trying to interpret a lot of what he was saying. We didn't get the full thing, I don't believe, but what he's telling you about community and putting this together is that you guys are the owners of this thing. This is your project. This is what you guys can bring not only for your community, but for Minnesota, for the United States, and the entire Muslim communities from coast to coast. It's something that we're excited from the insurance standpoint to be able to create a new insurance company, a reciprocal exchange for that matter, to manage it. And we have no benefit to the profits in this. You guys do. We're here to manage, to make sure it grows, not just stays still and helps your community, but we want to be able to make enough money to grow it for your community, for the international community within Islam, to be able to want and desire to be a part of this so that it would benefit all of Islam. That's pretty exciting for us. I started an insurance, a general agency from scratch, and I love to create from the ground up and doing the right thing. And so I'm excited for that. I really appreciate Abdul Karim's being able to embrace me as I came in from when Chuck hired me. Chuck hired me to basically light a fire under his butt to get working on, to get us moving, to make sure that we can, the goal is to write our first insurance policy this year. I'm going to touch on one item that I have on here. The Department of Commerce, I almost said Department of Insurance because that's a different state. Department of Commerce says we need $1.5 million just to be heard by them. Just to walk into their office and tell them that we want to start this, we need a $1.5 million. But if we get 15,000 people to give, what is that, $100? That makes $1.5 million pretty easy. And he could go through the numbers with you. I know Stuart is doing his best to find some capital outside of this community, but within the Islamic community, to raise 10 million, 15, 20 million. The more we can raise, the more products we can offer: home insurance, auto insurance, commercial insurance, and health insurance. We've talked about that, and do it through the whole United States. So I say that because if you ever, I can appropriately take a snow. If you take a piece of snow and you roll it down, more snow, and you roll it down the hill, and there's a snowball effect, you guys are going to be the initiators of the snowball effect, where you're going to influence everybody else in your community and throughout the United States to join what is going to be, as you said, needed for you guys to continue to live the lifestyle you guys live within the religion of Islam. And so I think I'm starting to mumble, and I hear your stomach starting to growl. But Chuck wants to say one more thing.
Hey, one quick. So when I hired Justin, there was a lack of energy within the group, and I was one of them. I'm running a business, and it was hard for me to take myself away from the day-to-day operations that I was involved with to focus on this new venture, which I was learning about and trying to understand. And I saw that with other players also. Where I did not see that was with Abdul Karim. Abdul Karim always had the energy and always had the motivation. He's the one that kept it going for the 3 years before I got involved, 2 years before I got involved, and was never the one that we needed to light a fire on as far as I was concerned. Just want to make that clear.
I had to light a fire under something.
Yeah. But it was Justin who really pushed everybody to. He was the energy when he came. So once the light started dimming, he's the one who came in and gave us the new light. And so we needed Justin, and he came at the right time. So kudos to Justin. Thanks. And just by the way, Stuart, he has 90 plus old parents. They live by themselves. They live in their own home and care for themselves. They live like we live. So he comes from a very blessed family, Stuart. Just remember that. And so we'll take a break. I think it's time to Iftar. Right? Anyone? Is it time? 4 minutes. Okay. Okay. You can. Do you have anything else to add? So, one of the things that no, I'll switch into Somali. waxyaalaha uu ka hadlayay waxaa jirta sharciga muxuu dhigayaa stateka Minnesota statue jira dhahayo qofka reciprocal exchange ma subin karo. shirkadaha insurance baayadayga waa 3 waxaa jirta mutual company, stock company, iyo maxaa jira reciprocal exchange. Reciprocal exchange ka dhaqan ahaan waa lawyeriin isu tageen, townships isu tageen, townships isu tageen, firefighters isu tageen, oo minimum 100 waay, minimum 100 inay ahaadaan. aggregate-kooda lacagtana waa 1.5 million. macnaa markaa qaybisid waa 15,000. marka fire station dhan mise township 15,000 waxba kuma aha anagana waxaa keli soo geli kara takafulka muxuu noqday reciprocal exchange ku noqday saa darteed waxay noqotay inaan maaragtaa waxay noqotay inaan maaragtaa aan reciprocal aan qaadano marka waxaan subinay community-ga marka waan qaybinay waxaan u qaybinay waxaan dhahnay 5,000 oo 300 so saddex way ku geynaysaa meesha hadana numberka u geynaya waa number ku dhaagaadaysa marka insha Allah taala wax oo subscription-ka uu ka duwan yahay saddex qayb iyo insurance-ka qofku u geli karaa shareholder waa qof iska leh investor-ga shareholder-ga subscriber iyo policy holder subscriber-ga waxaan ka dhignay typical reciprocal exchange-ka subscriber-ga iyo policy holder-ga waa isku midkii laakiin waan kala saarnay waxaan u kala saarnay anaga subscriber maanta Washington State ma joogno laakiin Minnesota aan joognaa laakiin qof oo Washington State joogo subscriber uu noqon karaa $300 uu bixin karaa oo ku gaarno targetka state-ka naga rabaan oona application-kayna oo maaragtaa u socdo markan waxyaala ka hadlaya waa statutory requirement oo la dhaafi karin qol walba laga rabo markii loo fahmo soo yimaado medical soo yimaado practice 15,000 waxba kuma aha macnaha 100 minimum iyo 1.5 aggregate-ka marka insha Allah taala waa intaas waan afuri doonaa culimadina way joogaan insha Allah taala waa maasantihiin marka insha Allah markaan afurno kadib yaan wadan doonaa insha Allah taala so we'll break for fast and then pray and then come back and continue. Probably we can have our dinner here and then still continue the speech.
Association that's just going to do really social things and that kind of stuff. We're focusing really hard on training, workshops, and very practical things that we can give you to make your business lives far less stressful. I only work now in my consulting practice with East African business owners. So for the last 5 years, I've really been involved in this community on a very deep level, and I understand the frustrations that we have with compliance, going to routine services from banks or accountants, and even insurance can be somewhat complicated. So the association is trying to fill that gap by working with this community to get us all up to the level we need to be. So we're really thrilled to be working with Abdul Karim on some of his projects. We have a huge gala on April 29th where we're basically kicking off the association. It's at the Hyatt Regency downtown. Mayor Fry, who's a very close friend of mine, is going to be our keynote speaker. We've got 3 big hitters coming in from Washington. We expect to have 500 people at this event. We've brought in some major sponsors, Huntington Bank, Freightliner, the SBA is going to be there. So we're really excited about that. More information on the association can be found at East African BA for Business Association, eastafricanba.com. And we'd appreciate everyone taking a look at that. If you're interested in coming to our event, we'd really welcome it.
Our next speaker will be Amani, and then we'll move into our councilman. Amani, please. Amani is also from the community. She's from East African team member, in fact, the CEO, and she will tell you in Somali. No English, please.
Assalamu alaikum. Somali TV dana khutbad kar qaade Somali, so I think I can do this. Welcome by, and I'm super excited to work with you guys. magacayga waxaa la dhahaa Amani. Paul and I waxaan forman gareynay waxa la dhaho East African Business Association, and waxaan rabnaa inaan ganacsiyaasha Minnesota inaan horumarkooda ka shaqeyno. waxaan rabnaa ganacsiyaasha oo businessyaasha Minnesota inaan opportunity hor istaajino. And community-gana haddaa u aragtiin hal sector aan ka shaqeynaa kulligeen, ama group home, ama autism, ama trucking. It's anoo loo yaqaana as a community. So I'm very excited in maanta aragno opportunity-yaala kale like the bank or insurance ka maanta marka waxaan jeclahay inaan naga soo qayb gashin insha Allah Somali TV full interview ku jira haddaad rabtiin more information waana fadhinaa but gabdhaheena inaan ka dhigno kulligood business owners haddii rabaan opportunities as far as certification wadankan system lagu socdaa haddaan systemka anaga la qabsanin waxaan noqonaynaa dad community oo hadhooti ka bixi doono laakiin haddaan rabno sida Asian community Indian community inaan noqono in anaga istaagno waayo oo horumarka ka shaqeyno markaas East African Business Association is for Somali community and East African community in general in horumarkeeda ka shaqeyso so just briefly for you guys so we started an East African Business Association really targeting the businesses in Minnesota and the target is really to get the seat at the table we've been kind of ignored and we have not had the opportunities that a lot of the other communities had. So this insurance and this bank that's forming right now is a great example of why we need the business supports to take this to the next level. So we are very, very excited to work with this team and really provide the resources and businesses. So thank you so much for having us.
Next, Mohammed, martiqaadena councilmanka Jamal, please, kusoo dhawaab inshallah.
Thank you so much for having me today. My name is Jamal Osman, Minneapolis City Council member in District 6, which has the largest minority East African Native American in state of Minnesota. You know, every time I hear that, you know, that we are catching up and we are getting our own, it's really something that excites me. So I'm here tonight just to support and show that we need our own insurance. We need halal compliance, something that your mom or your dad or yourself can understand and relate it to. We came to a strange country and we had to learn how things work daily. We're continue learning that, but now we're not just learning; we're actually exceeding and making it our own. So that's something super excited. One of the things that I like to see more is our community to be part of the mainstream. You know, as my sister Iman talked about, we are known one specific, business way or having, even if you look at it, our businesses right now, I would say 95% is just the internal. Annaga le wax iska gadana, annaga le nala ka gata, annaga iska dhex gadana. Marka for us, for the mainstream-ka, aad baan ugu faraxsanahay inaan soo dhex galnay arrimahaana keligood ma aha xitaa guryaha oo kaleeta ha noqoto bangiga ha noqoto imagine bangi community-geena leenahay ama insurance aan leenahay wax weyn ayuu noo tari lahaa marka I'm super excited and City Minneapolis we do have a representation but I don't know I think this kind of role of the insurance. I'll leave it with the business, but anything to do with the government, if you guys need that process, let me know. I will be glad to help. So thank you so much and congratulations.
Aad umahadsan tahay, Councilman. Thank you. Next we'll invite, I don't know, is it only me who knows how to handle the microphone? Because so inshallah martiqaadena sheekh macalin bare tafadal ku soo dhawaab inshallah warin diin ku saabsan maaragtaa iyo wacdi yar sababta ummadda markay meel isku yimaadaan ilaahay inaa la xuso laga maarmaan waayo haddii ilaahay la xusin kulankaas kulan macnaha jiro ma noqonayo marka inshallah taala ilaahay baan xuseynaa waana yar inshallah taala tafadal sheekh macalin bare qofkii sheekh la'aan dhibaatada leedahay shirkadahayna anaga sheekh maxaa noo masaajidkan yaan ka tirsanahay oo macalin bare oo meel hoose waaye abubakar sadiiq ma aha laakiin maxaan ku fiicannahay sheekh maxaan kale ku leenahay siyaadal sheekh axmed nuur waa sheekhayna marka ayadana siyaadalna sheekh baan ku leenahay marka alxamdulilah
bismillah alxamdulilah wasalaatu wasalaamu calaa rasuulillah martida sharafta le جزاكم الله خير نسأل الله حاضرتين سوق يبقلكينا علماء هي قلفت العلماء وهي مركا ويسكابنا يعني magaalada culumay leedahay laakiin si guud markii la dhaho sheekh cabdiraxmaan iyo in la keenay caawa meesha ka muuqdaan ayaga koofi waaweyn marka si kastaba haatee programkan isaga ah runtii waa mid aan u baahannahay haddaan nahay bulshada muslimka ah waddanka markaan soo galnay maalmaha ka mida anoo cusub oo dhowr bilood joogo qof wuxuu yidhi baabuurkan tiyootada ah waa ribo la'aan ama qaadati bii ugu yidhi markaasaan ka hor soo ribo la'aan ku yihi waa $10,000 baabuurka qaado intaas ka dhiibto waa $1,000 inta kalena baymenta ku bix madaxaan qabsaday laa ilaaha ila allah maxamed rasuul war weligii waxaan maqli jiray ribada waa laisu qariyaaye ma hadda adigu bilowdeen anoo cusub waddanka haddana waxaan ognahay dadkao dhan way wada qaateen ani laakiin weli ma qaadan yaa marka waan u baahannahay in aan helo bangi iyo insurance islaami ah oo aan ku qanacsannahay diiniyan inaan helo waan u baahannahay weli ma hayno 100% insurance ama islamic financial oo lagu qanacsan yahay oo isku raacsan weli ma hayno marka arrintan hadda markii hoos loo fiiriyay ee walaalaha wadaan waa caalam islaami mid ka jirto insurance-gan caalam islaami ka jira marka culamo badan ayaa maaragtay fasaxday oo tiri waa 100% way marka taas waxay u baahan tahay marka inay aan taageerno haddaan nahay bulshadan oo ku nool qurbaha si ay bulshadeenna iyo dadkeenna weli dib u taaganee ribada iyo waxyaalaha aan shubahaadka ku jiraan iska ilaalinayo ay u helaan waxay ku kalsoon yihiin maalmaha ka mide dadkan guryaha gado qayb ka mide yaa igu yimid masaajidka iyagoo socdo hadalkii markaan ka dhageystay waan ku cusbaa markaa gobolka yaa waxaan ku idhi maxay idin dhaheen culummada gobolka joogaan ee Soomaaliyeed maxay idin dhaheen culummada Soomaaliyeed ee gobolka joogta haddayna fasixi lahaayeen bay wasaas kelimada saas u dhahan waliba qayb kamid ay target saaran waxay ayaano hadday noo fatwoon lahayd saas ay dhaheen Soomaaliya oo dhan guriga qaadan lahayn bay ayaano hadday noo fatwoon lahayd inaan guri qaadan karno oo company-ga naga inay ka qaadan karaan hadday fatwoon lahaayeen Soomaalida Mareykan joogto oo dhan guriga qaadan lahayn bay taa macnaheedu waxaa waaye weli lama hayo culummada carabta iyo dad badan oo dee qaarkood ama hala duro ama lagu kalsoonaade oo fasaxay way jiraan marka si kastaba ha ahaato waan u baahannahay inaan programkan isaga taageerno insha allahu tacaala oo in badan oo culummada ka mid ah ama sida noo muuqato xataa daahirka muuqdo ay yihiin dad maaragtay xalaal wado ay yihiin bankigana xalaal insurance-gana xalaal marka ana idin ma dhahayo hadda fatwadii aan fatwanay waata ma dhahayo culummada joogta magaalada oo fatwada ka soo saarayso waxaana ku marti qaadayaa programkan inay ka soo qayb galaan munadamada ayaano inay hoos u fiiriyaan company-gan ama insurance-gan iyo bankigan walaalaha laftooda waxaan leeyahay meeshii idinku arrimaata ha ka tagine albaabada garaaca oo ku noqnoqda oo culummada fardi iyo shakhsi oo la fariista arrintan u sharxa nin kastoo ay la fariistaan u sharxan wuu ku qancaa laakiin waxaa muuqato inayna wada gaarin ayaga laftooda culummada inayna wada gaarin marka culummada hala wada gaaro hadda ayaana waxaan ogahay waxay leeyihiin lajno oo khaas oo fiqiga u xil saaran bay leeyihiin oo culummo ka kooban bay leeyihiin culummo kalena way jiraan oo fiqiga ku xil dheer oo gobolka joogto Soomaaliyeed marka halkaa ka soo gala dhanka culummada hadda shacabka ka soo gashaan shacabku way wada raacayaan wayna wada taageerayaan company-gan iyo insurance-yada way wada taageerayaan laakiin culummada haddaad dhinac kale ka martaan oo garab orodaan ama aynan gaarin waxaa waaye dadka culummada ku xiran yihiin xaqiiqada markii la fiiriyo diin bay rabaan dadkan diin bay taargetsanayaan marka wax diin daba socda hadday helaan bulshadoo dhan way idin soo raacayaan bankigiinana way qaadanayaan insurance-giina way qaadanayaan laakiin haddii laga dhex waayo culummadii meesha waxaa waaye dad badan dib bay u istaageen marka arrintaas waxaan leeyahay hala taageero culummadana waan u sheegaya insha allahu tacaala arrinta ayade inay hoos u fiiriyaan oo company-ga isaga ay maaragtay gaar ahaan lajaanta fiqiga jazaakum allahu khayran asalaamu calaykum waraxmatullahi wabarakatu
aada u mahadsantahay macalin bare insha allah jazaakum allah khayr waxaan soo dhaweynaa ibraahim bare oo hadal raba inuu nagu darsado oo bulshada ka mid ah insha allah tacaala tafadal
بسم الله وصلى الله وسلم على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين هذا ميكروفون كان أوجي كتجي طبعا معلم برا أنا أقدم بي مارك توحوي حدريم يا عيب دريم أنا شيخ برا ملو كاد أنا كهالله مركان سيد علي هاي تجويد معلم كي بالله ولي عثمان حسن عارف ورير فار بولا سجى قرآن كودي جاي مركا أنا حسن ومناسب maraykan markaan imado isbaranay ayaan iswareysanay iyo tajwiid ku bilaabay ugu yiri macalin Ismaan baa ii bilaabay ku dhahay kadib wuxuu awoogahan ahay inta kadib walaalayaal Soomaalidu waxay tiraahdaa nin ceel ku dhacay biyo iskama dhowro maadaama aan dhulka nimid oo lagu qasban yahay assurance in la yeesho Sheekh Barano uu inoo cadeeyay yiri ma aragtay waxa weeye waa lahuba assurance igan wax kale oo noo dhiman ma laha inaan ayidno oo garab istaagno taageerna ma ahanay wax kale oo inoo furmay jir walaalayaal marka waxaan leeyahay aan garab istaagno culimadana ma aragtay waxa weeye Minneapolis maanta way ku dhan yihiin qabiil waxa la yiraahdaa hadduu qof ka joogo way wada joogaan way joogaan haday laba ka joogaan way ku wada idil yihiin marka culimada Soomaaliyeed rag badan way ka joogaan maanta ma sha Allah inkastoo ayaana ma aragtay uu sheekhu xusay meesha aan ka arkaynin ma aragtay mas'uulkeedii insha Allah ta'ala kulay wixii meesha loogu wada hadlayna insha Allah ta'ala waa la gaarsiinaya biidnillaahi إلهي تبارك وتعالى وحن ليهاي هنك ولا لهن أي ليهن ولكن عبد الكريم يرجع لمتك ما ركت وحوي هوشان أجن تدي إلهي سبحانه وتعالى هلجره أنا جنا قربهن أيام هاي أنت سمكسو كوبي هذا وصلى الله وسلم على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين بارك الله فيكم.
We've Chuck and I have done a lot of business in various states. Again, we're from California. We're more familiar with the western states. The one prior to being with Carnegie, the company I worked for had licenses in 39 states. So we're pretty familiar with most of the United States with regards to the different insurance bureaus, if you will, and different insurance, state insurance departments is what I'm trying to say. But we don't know the people there, and on all the people that are at the different departments of insurance, they might treat you differently just by the way you walk into their office. And what we're wanting to do tomorrow is represent you guys well. So, this meeting today, we hope we can get to know you guys a little bit more. I know we've been kind of disconnected from like here to there, but if you guys have any questions for us, we'd like to get to respond and get to know you. If you guys want to share something that we need to know, so we can take that to the Department of Insurance. We want to know. We want to be your advocate. But tomorrow we're hoping to learn a lot about Minnesota. Tonight, we're hoping to learn a lot about you guys and your community, your desires, and obviously we've heard quite a bit already, even just from the speakers that were here just now. From the English, I could at least understand. So if you guys could share with us, that'd be great for us to get to know you as you guys have gotten to know us. And I can keep talking, but I think I've said my piece and I'm starting to repeat myself. Okay. All right.
So in my experience, there are few people who say, I want to build a company or I want to build a bank. But there are very few people that say, I want to build an insurance company, which is a full-time job for many people, and also a bank. I mean, you all have, this community has, Abdul Karim has invested a lot into this community. He cares so deeply about you, and when I first met him, he expressed that deep concern and love for all of you. And I don't know if I've met anybody who runs his own law firm, wanted to is building a bank and an insurance company. That is a monumental task. And I'm just very impressed and blessed by having been invited to just a small part of what his vision is to make life easier for you guys. I think this is a fabulous and fun experience. It's work. It's going to take cooperation, both on our part, on your part. There's certainly, without the buy-in of the community, this doesn't happen, right? And Chuck said something, and I think Abdul Karim also said, we want to expand this out. It's not just what we're doing here. This is going to the snowball effect that Justin was talking about. This will have an impact for the Muslim community throughout the United States and maybe into Canada. I'm assuming we can go cross-border there as well. But you all are part of the genesis of an important project. And as I said, insurance is not that interesting, but it's necessary. And I'm incredibly impressed by Abdul Karim and his energy, his ethics, and his dedication to this community. So I just wanted to put that out to the group. I'm sure you guys know him a heck of a lot better than I do, but that's all I had to say. Thank you.
Thank you. One thing that I always share with the community is that these projects are driven by the creator of this world. Without his support, it could never have happened, even thinking, because there's so much oppositions from many avenues that could have hampered our progress. But we kept going, and we will continue going until it's accomplished. Thank you, Stuart. I've been blessed with the people that have helped me along the way. I could have never done or would have never had the energy to do anything without other people being part of my life. Whether it was through when I came to the US 97, go to a community college, go to undergrad, get my master's, and then because of my faith, I thought I couldn't go to law school, but it happened finally. And because of that experience, it kept me going. The training I got from law school was the fundamental basis that I do everything in life, because they work you so hard, and that kept me going regardless of how many things I'm juggling in life. By the way, I have 8 children, so between 2 and 26 years old, and all of them are in my home. No one has left. So that's. Thank you, Stuart. We are blessed. If you are blessed, you'll have people who are blessed around you. And I've been around blessed people. Chuck and Stuart, their hearts are in the community. They will have never known about this community if I haven't shown them what the community looks like, which is me. And they came to love. And we had Justin. They're not the only team members. We have almost in every meeting, we have about 11 or 12 people that meet every 2 weeks. And so this is just a sample that you're seeing here. And so we're blessed in many, many ways. One other thing that I would like to add is that we know that we can't exist without the support of our religious scholars. That's how the scholars inherited from the prophets. And we have to go. We can't breathe. We can't do anything without their help. And alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen, we have done that. There's no one scholar who can say that we haven't introduced them our ideas. And it's needed. They may be distracted, but this is needed, and it does comply with the Sharia, alhamdulillah. There are different groups. We have been to different masajids. We have been given opportunity to even speak in one of the masjid. There are groups, of course. We have mass masjids, and we have ayana masjids. We tend to align ourselves with ayana, and I hope they know that, because we will be their competition if they don't align with us at some point, because we'll have our own masajids in the future, inshallah. And so, alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen, one of the things that I would like to share with the community is that this is about faith. Because business does not come into existence without having faith in you, and that's what drives everything that we do in life. And alhamdulillah, I always looked at things from the need, from the Sharia perspective. That's how I always viewed. Everybody has a life. Everybody will go back to their lives. I went to a masjid in Blaine that was asking for 2.4 million to build a gym for their kids. But what's missing is that child needs nurturing when they're so young. They need that exposure to their faith. And once they grow in their faith. They never get lost. But having a gym for them is a good idea in an Islamic environment. But where does the child go after the gym? That's what's so inshallah, this project will help us in many different ways from non-profit side. But the goal is to, number one, obey the rules that we live in here, which the United States law requires us to have an insurance. We can't drive a car without insurance. But again, the same law also respects our religion and also gives us an opportunity to have an insurance that also complies with our faith. If only we will know that is what's missing. And we hope that the scholars, Islamic scholars who have representation here tonight, will also understand that you need people who can also be part of that message. The messages are not only the scholars, they need help from the community, and we are that help, inshallah ta'ala, to make that message across. If anyone from the community wants to say anything, they are welcome. Otherwise, we'll ask you, just requested that you need to know each other. Questions, please, welcome. We'll be standing, walking around probably, but don't be shy. Ask any questions you want to ask, and they will be willing to answer those questions. And so with that, if I don't have anyone else for this meeting, I will conclude, but don't forget the 29th, Hayat Regency, right? So we have East African Business Association. It's free food, no fundraising, just come in and enjoy yourselves, inshallah. With that, I'll okay. So, inshallah, there's a message waxaan rabaa inaad dadka jooga meeshan iyo dadka oo macnaha gaari doona koletaba waan la sheegareyn doonaa Facebook page-ka. Waxaa waaye subscription loo baahan yahay. Community-ga si ku soo celiyeen with support-kiina ayaa loo baahan yahay. Support-kan wuxuu ka imaanayaa inaad membership-kaas iska diiwaangelisiin, subscription aan sabino waa 300 registration, lacagtaas ayada lacag ku dhalaysa, lacag faa'iido dhalaysa waaye. Wax kasta oo gala takafulka faa'iido ku dhalaysa, lacag lumaysa ma aha. Waxyaalaha insurance-ka, one of the things that the insurance industries always come across is fraud. Almost any claim, about 15 to 20% of all claims are fraudulent. When you have ownership with the USA, he had ownership, Chuck had ownership with the USA. With this ownership, there's no, you take away that fraud. There will be no fraud because the person owns this. So with this Takaful project we are working on, will also help the insurance industry avoid fraud claims. So inshallah, so if there's a claim, the genuine claim, we'll pay for that. But everything else that's left in the pool, we'll share. And that's how the community will thrive. So we will be worshiping Allah, and at the same time, ensuring each other from risks, and then share profits and success. So inshallah, with that, I conclude, inshallah ta'ala. Khair inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.